another boat.
Good, man.
Dude, I'm really upset. Shut up. No more.
Catching a bunch of different.
Get Bobby's card.
You expected anything different? Good morning, guys. It's Bobby Roast Beef. In the words of one of our recent past guests, Jose Cinco, your boy's going fishing for content today. Why? I had an amazing day yesterday with a good friend of mine, and we caught him, man. We caught him. I caught some really decent fish, and caught him on a technique we both really love, and that's fishing a jig. And I chose not to bring my cameras that day for a very specific reason. We may talk about that, but anyway, I need to put a video together for you guys. So I'm gonna go over to the Connecticut River. I'm not traveling very far. We're gonna go and fish a couple of different areas that I'm hoping might produce some quality bites. So we will see where this brings us and what the fish have lined up for us. But don't go too far. We got much more Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this. There we go, dude. There we go. That's a decent fish. There we go, buddy. That is a decent fish. Chasing minigun. There we go, baby. Come on. Minigun right there. Battle baits. Check that guy out. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's throw him on the board real quick and see what we got. Hang on, buddy. That's a good sign. I feel like I got lucky there taking a guess. This guy comes in at 15. All right, this is not a bad fish. This guy would be helpful in a tournament. He'd be great in the slot tournament. He's right in that sort of middle ground. Sweet. Okay, so he was really close to wood near those pads. Giddy up, buddy. Thank you. Fucking A. That was a really great bite. All right, so we're gonna make a few more casts over near this stuff and see what we can come up with. It might be something even bigger. That's exactly what my thought was with selecting this bait, was that it's got a little bit more vibration than your typical, finesse swim bait, which is a huge comfort for me. But we have a little bit of vibration off that small willow blade, and the curly tail grub gives a nice tight vibration on the back end. So see, that was a really, really solid bite. I'm not mad at that. That's pretty freaking fantastic. I'm gonna make another cast up along these pads right here. We do have some weeds that come out a little ways. Another cast right over here. And that was pretty shallow, but it wasn't stupid shallow, you know? So one fish is a fish. Let's see if we can get a pattern. We'll do a little bit more covering of water. Dirty water. A little bit more of a subtle spinnerbait presentation. You know, just being cognizant of the fucking downsized profile. There we go. There's another one. There's a pike. There's a pike. Nice. There was a pike. Oh man, he came off, swam right under the boat. Ripped it right out from his frickin' lip. Small pike. I'll bet you he was probably 18, 19 inches. Maybe at best. Let's keep going. Hey, 2 fish. That's a pattern. Oh, that was a fucking bite right there, dude. That was a bite. And this is where the premise of a follow-up bait comes into play. No, I don't think so. Give it a few. That's what it's all about. When you miss a fish, you make a few casts with some type of a follow-up bait. And maybe I could do a little bit better matching colors, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know that's that much of a big deal. Oh, that was a bite, dude. God damn. Oh, man, I thought that was a fucking bite. Or a swat or something, dude. I really did. There we go. It's another pike. No, it's a big fucking largie. It's a good one. Off a dock. Okay, all right, buddy. It's a big one, dude. Off of that minigun again. This guy was off a dock. This was just an absolute shot in the dark chance pickup right here. I'll bet you he's about the same size. What was the other one? 15? I'll bet you he's about 15. I'll bet you he goes right about 15. 15 and a half. Okay. You want to stay in there? We'll let you stay in there for a little bit. Oh, you chill out. You chill out, buddy. Turn that aerator on for him. Oh yeah, smallest one of the day, but that is what, a bunch of bites, 3 fish landed. I mean, I'm not mad at it. The bass are all getting it very, very good. The pike seem like they're just smacking it and they don't want it. I mean, which is okay, but damn, chunky little fish, but smaller than what we're looking for. Let's keep it going. God damn, buddy. It's a big fish. It's a big Oxbow largemouth right here. Hang on, buddy. Hang on, buddy. Hang on, buddy. Are we able to get this guy out of here? Yep, we are. Bro. Really? All on the minigun today. All of them. Every one of them on the minigun. Look at that. A great little lure. Yeah, I'm going to measure this guy. This guy, I think, is the biggest of the day. I'm going to say 17 and a half, possibly 18. Oh, he's quite a bit larger than his counterpart here. Oh, dude, he hits 19. Another 19. Well, so that's a 15 and a 15 and a half. A little squeaker. We know we hooked a pike that shook off right here. And now that 19. This is not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. Somehow this is that much more crisp at the moment. And it's hitting the spot for refreshment. It's a warm one today. But, you know, we're out here making it happen. I have just had to really search for those baits, or search for those bites rather. And the minigun, let's talk about the minigun. The minigun is a pretty special bait that is put out by the company Battle Baits. Battle Baits make some really, really unique but very high quality lures. And the minigun right here, you guys can see this, is a downsized spinnerbait. It's got a smaller frame for the wire. It's got one single blade. In this case, it's got a small willow blade. And it's still got that robust hook. If you take a look at that hook right there, that's still a really, really sturdy, robust hook. So, you know, you can really kind of like lean into these fish and hit them pretty hard. You really can. The whole thing is, though, overall, the profile is much more compact. So putting a short trailer on with just a really tight action like this single tail grub is really sort of perfect. I mean, it's hitting kind of all over the place. So we're gonna keep looking for more fish. We'll see what we can come up with. Not a bad day at all for a Monday in early August. You know, there's a lot of people that think I throw exclusively bait finesse and exclusively just, you know, finesse baits and finesse presentations. You know, some people, and I'm surprised because they fished with me and they've seen firsthand. But I'll tell you, unless I'm targeting a variety of species, like in a scavenger hunt situation, something like that, I'm not primarily starting with bait finesse. I'm starting with conventional. If I'm out bass fishing like I am today, I'm 100% looking at what's in front of me and making a decision. I'm starting with something conventional. I'm taking into account the conditions, the wind. I'm taking into account the cloud cover. I'm taking into account any kind of current and water temp and trends. All that stuff is kind of being factored in right there. And I'm throwing conventional stuff until I find that I need to size down. And I usually let those baits tell me something. Like I usually let them tell me with a follow or a swipe, or if I'm missing something, and then I'll make the adjustment based on that. A good example of that is last fall I was fishing with Binya on this river, and I happened to hook into my PB Smallie. I don't think there's a YouTube video for that one. There's definitely some reels on Instagram and some shorts, but it was one of these things where I was actually throwing a conventional swim bait, a paddle tail swim bait on a 1/4 ounce jig head, and I was getting bit a bunch. I was getting follows right to the boat. The bites that I were getting all seemed to be like short strikes, like they were just hitting it too close on the tail, like the hook wasn't set far enough back. So what I did was I grabbed one of my bait finesse combos with a jig head on it, and a specific jig head that had a little bit longer shank hook, so that the hook point would be as far back in that bait as possible. And immediately on making that change, I started catching fish. And it's one of those things. It's bait finesse tactics in general, spinning rods, all that stuff, whatever it is, all of this gear, these are just tools. How you use them and your choice in how you use them is totally up to you. And that's what the art portion of my little saying about fishing, how it's one part science, one part art. That's the art. And sometimes you just can't, I guess, take that for granted or try to explain it away. Like, it just is what it is. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Oh, it's another pike. Swam right up on it. Yeah, dude, I'm 100%. I believe it. I think that the pike are just swatting at it and not really committing to it, and I think the bass are devouring it. Well, all right, guys, we're in the shallow spot at the Oxbow here, and speed limit 6 miles an hour. Whenever I'm in here, I get to get up on plane for such a short period of time, and then we get over to this spot. But that's great because it gives me an opportunity to talk to you guys. So here's the deal. Came out here just because I haven't fished here in a couple of weeks, and being completely lazy this morning, decided I'd sleep in a little bit more. Didn't want to really drive too far. and figured I'd come out and see what we could put together. I'll tell you what, this is one of those days for the Connecticut River watershed. Did not disappoint at all. Got out here and put in 4 in total in the boat. Only 1 squeaker. Didn't even put them on the board. Probably in that 12 or 13 window, something like that. So I don't know that the pike were really committing or chasing as much as I may have been hoping that they were. All of the bass came directly out of relatively thick weeds. And they're good weeds back here. They're nice bright green, so that's oxygenating the water. It's helping to keep that area a little bit, tight for cover. So these fish kind of have a little sense of security while they're holed up in this area. So we had talked on the podcast about tips for fishing in the dog days of the summer when it's really bad. And this was kind of one of those days where the proof was kind of in the pudding. We found them where the oxygen was the best, near the healthy grass. This area has a lot of submergent grass in there that goes down quite a ways. It's overall pretty shallow in this area. Overall, pretty great day, man. Love catching them on the Battle Baits minigun. A great friggin' presentation. Compact, highly effective, subtle, but with a little bit of vibration. And I think today that it was just the deal. But let's head back and load up. We'll see you guys.